Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Kingmaker. I just figured out where the Kelid Barbarian camp was as we started the episode. Oh, we have to go all the way into Dunsword. Interesting. Anyway, yes. Last time we met some barbarians when we went to investigate Varnhold. Varnhold was empty. Barbarians had no idea what was happening. So we're going to head over to the barbarian camp and see, well, you know, what's going on. They said they found a cave of half-men. Sounds cool. Spider lair? A peculiar place in the outskirts of Dunsword, inhabited by giant spiders, dangerous monsters the size of a pony. Locals avoid this place when in search of lost livestock. If a cow or sheep goes missing and the owner suspects the animal wandered in here, they give it up as a lost cause. The animal is probably caught in a spider's trap, if not already killed and eaten. Enemies, avoid. Nice. Ooh, furrowed. Blood furrows. The ground in this mysterious place has been heavily disturbed, marked with numerous strange furrows scarring the grass, and unusual sunken depressions and raised mounds across the area. Then a ruined tower. A decayed tower which looms over the plains. This ancient setting has withstood both elements and the test of time. Decayed but unyielding, this tall structure remains. A half-destroyed staircase with unusually tall steps leads to the higher floors. The tower walls are covered with eroded inscriptions and images. I was just wondering... there is another route around there, yeah. That might be a quicker route round to Dunsword. I don't know whether we need to go there. I'm going to the Kelid Barbarian camp. We're not stopping. Yeah. Because we know that they're chieftains looking for something in the area, probably related to the Varnhold mystery, so let's see what's going on. It's also about as far to the right of the map as we can get, which is interesting. Maybe we're much closer to the end of the game than I thought, because we've explored so much territory in that short amount of time. I don't know. I'm confused by this game because I have no idea, I have no concept of how far we are through. And that's worrying me because I'm like, usually these kind of games are quite easy to tell, but it's the way that they kind of goes, yeah, we're just doing the next thing now. Which I guess kind of makes sense. It's like an RPG, well, as I said, it's like the tabletop game. We basically just go to adventure and adventure. And then there's some meta plot, but it never really reveals itself. Alright. On the low grounds among the hills, some Numerian barbarians had set up camp. While obviously set up recently as a place to rest, it was thoroughly constructed. Along the stake palisade, the Numerians had reinforced their camp with the deep moat. Spotting the body of some unlucky thief at the bottom, it seems they had made a good call. Guarding the entrance was our old acquaintance, Nobber, the man whose group we met in the hills previously. While his greeting was none too friendly, he did invite us to enter and led us to meet his leader. We were led to a man named Dogath, a middle-aged Kelid with an gorgeous mane, once charcoal black, now salt and pepper, as well as bronze skin hardened by sun, wind, and time to the point that it almost looked like oak bark. Speaking with assertive tones, he invited us to dine with the Tiger Lords, that was the name of their tribe, and spend time in their camp. Any business we might have with the tribe, he said, could be discussed in the morning once everyone was rested and refreshed. Not wanting to offend the barbarians, who proven to be commendably hospitable, we accepted the invitation. Within minutes we were seated by the bonfire with goblets in our hands. As guests, our goblets were wrought of skillfully decorated silver, with intricate carvings depicting scenes of battle. "Do as I do," Amiri whispered into the Baroness's ear. "They really care about tradition here." The cupbearer filled everyone's goblets with wine. When Dogath raised his cup, officially starting the feast, the Baroness... Oh, it's actually good we brought Amiri. I didn't, completely by luck, I brought the right person. Anyway, placed her faith in Amiri and followed her example. To my utter surprise, our barbarian friend spilled her wine on the ground and the Baroness followed her example. I thought the Numerians would be enraged, but they all followed suit. There was apparently a barbarian tradition offering the first cup to the spirits. Only after the cupbearer filled our goblets again did the Numerians start to drink, and so did we. The main course, unsurprisingly, was meat. While hunting in the hills, the Numerians had killed a deer and two wild boars, all now roasting over an open fire. As the tribe's guests, we were offered the best pieces. Fierce in battle, the Numerians were equally fierce at the table. They frantically tore the meat apart with knives, bare hands, and teeth. as though attacking the throats of their worst enemies rather than eating roast venison. Only one camp inhabitant didn't join the dinner. Far from the festivities, a slim woman wrapped in a grey cloak sat alone, her face hidden behind a piece of cloth. She was so quiet and still, at first I didn't realise she was a living being at all. The Baroness asked the Tiger Lords who she was. Glancing cautiously between Dugath and the woman, one Numerian explained that the woman was one of the defaced sisters, half-priestess, half-wizard. Okay. While they may travel along with the Numerians, they never ate at the same table. Judging by the tones the barbarians used when speaking of the woman, it was easy to tell that none of them held any warm feelings towards these defaced sisters. Now, we were told in our riddle about faceless men. Defaced sisters? I mean, it's close, which is enough for me to speculate. Anyway, continue. After everyone had eaten their fill, it was time for the entertainment. The barbarians began singing a drawling song in their guttural language known as Halit. Later, one of the Numerians explained it was a ballad about a brother and sister who defeated a huge metal spider. The song that followed was a comedic piece about the adventure of a stupid werewolf. The Numerians all sang it together. It was clear that each of them knew that one by heart. Most everyone clapped to the rhythm, though some thumped their knife handles on their shields, and one skilled person accompanied the song on a vargan. Once the song was over, Dugath appealed to his guest to surprise our host. The Baroness decided the best choice would be the tale of how we defeated the Stag Lord. Definitely. Me? Yeah? Let's do it. Our tale of battle and heroic deeds was just what the barbarians were looking for. They listened eagerly, chimed in on each detail, and laughed and clapped at the most epic moments. Even Dugath found himself smiling and nodding as he listened to our story. Finally, the drinking and singing came to an end. Only bones remained from the feast, and the bonfire had burned down to ash. Satisfied, the Numerians retired to their tents.
I beg you, I haven't seen my sisters for several days. I'm afraid they may be in trouble.
They all have pictures and voice acting. Alright, these are all super important people, I can tell straight away. As you approach the barbarian leader, you can't help but overhear part of his conversation with a woman you recognized from the feast before. Her face remains hidden and she sounds extremely worried.
This whole land is nothing but trouble. You want me to risk my life and the lives of my people to do your dirty work? Go ahead, ask Armagh to give the order. Oh, but Armagh stayed back in Numeria, which means I am the one making the decisions here.
But what about my sisters? Something terrible could happen to them.
You sisters insisted on this expedition, so it's your price to pay. With your blood, not ours. Something terrible could happen, you say? It is too late for that. We already lost good men on this pointless journey to nowhere. Whatever Armagh needs, it's not here, and it wasn't here from the start. But you didn't come here for him, did you? You came for your own reasons. You want some magic toy that once belonged to the ancient Cyclops. Well, I'm not leading my men to their deaths for that.
Oh, magic toy that once belonged to the ancient Cyclopses. That's what Tartusio might have been looking for. Interesting.
Dugath.
This conversation is over. You want help? Why not ask our guests to help you? If you can afford their rates, that is. As for me, my single remaining goal is to get my people home alive, and well, and as soon as possible.
The woman leaves, sobbing. Dugath turns to you. Good morning. Well, let's get down to business, shall we? Introductions aren't necessary, Baroness. I know who you are. Let's discuss how we can be useful to one another. Alright, I'll be stupid. Do you know me? How?
How do you think? We keep an eye on everything that happens in the region. It's smart to know our potential employers and our potential enemies.
Who's that woman?
Wish I knew who these witches are and where they came from. Our chieftain, the great Armagh, spirits bless him, trusts them as if they were holy oracles. He sent us with them to these dead hills, and none but the sisters and the chieftain himself know why. Who am I to confront the chieftain? So now we wander these lands, chasing the unknown.
Okay. Do you know anything about what happened in Varnhold?
Varnhold, huh? Isn't that the village Megar Varn got from the Ristovik sword lords? I know Varn. He's not the best fighter, but not the worst. As for what happened there, I wouldn't know.
There's a whole army of you here. How did you manage to get so far?
None of your business, actually. But just to reassure you, we weren't sneaking into your lands without permission. I'll answer. It was magic. The sisters opened some strange tunnel, and we used it to get here from Numeria. Gorham witnessed my words. I'm no coward, but I'd rather march for a month through all the river kingdoms than use that damned tunnel again. It was strange. Wrong. Just like those witches themselves.
Okay, right. That's it. That's the riddle that we got from the what's it from? Oh, I've completely forgotten where it was. Yes, the riddle we got from doing Jubilos's quest, right? It talked about a road being opened. Okay? These sisters opened a tunnel right here. It talked about faceless men, right? The defaced sisters, and it talked about a black-feathered man. There are ravens everywhere. In fact, there's a raven right here. Look at that. Aha. Interesting. Okay, so there should be a black-feathered man somewhere in this camp. I'm very, very interested to see if we can find them. Okay, anyway. What are you looking for here?
I wish I knew. The sisters are looking for something, but they won't tell anyone what it is. I guess it's some antique that used to belong to the Cyclops. Some magic trinket or something. As for me, the only thing I'm looking for is a good reason to quit this nonsense and return to Numeria as soon as possible.
Is this how you serve your liege?
Don't confuse our chieftains with your kings, knight. It's the chieftain who swears an oath to the tribe, not the other way around. Liege. I was one of the tribe's elders when he was in his first teeth.
So how did it go? Did you find anything of interest?
If we did, do you think we'd still be here now? The only thing to be found in these hills is one's own death. A group of my men entered a cave that turned out to be a Spriggan den. They barely survived the encounter. Also, we found the ruins of some old tower, ancient as the world itself, and useless as this expedition. There is nothing to be found here, except, like I said, for one's own death.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Ask away, why not? I don't promise I'll answer, though.
I have to ask you everything because you're fully voice acted and it is so nice. Tell me about yourself.
I'm Dugath, son of Gordir and Harith Three Fingers from the Tiger Lord's tribe. My entire life, I've served Gorham, first on the battlefield, sword in my hand, and later with prayer as well. I've fought in battles all across the River Kingdoms, in Yoberia, Guld, Ustalev. My price is high, my hand is steady, and my sword is deadly.
Finishing this speech, the man gives you a wide grin, showing off several missing teeth. Tell me about Gorham.
Our Lord in Iron doesn't like empty talk. He's the god of those who act instead of chatter. His palm blesses every sword ever crafted, and wherever at least two men meet in battle, he is there with them. Even orcs worship the god of battle, and not only that, they imagine he's an orc too. It's all nonsense, of course, but there may be a grain of truth to it. For anyone can aspire to be like him. A human, an orc, and even an elf. Anyone who grips his iron to make his enemy bleed.
Well said, old man. Truly well said. Blood for Gorham!
Alright, Amiri. Good for you to get a chance to give out your catchphrase again. It's almost weird when devs do that. I quite like it, but it's where they know that some people are going to point out that she says the same thing over and over again. So they just they like call themselves out. I do quite like it, but it is also a little odd. Anyway, tell me about your tribe.
There are many tribes in Nomeria. Each does its best to survive. The Black Horses sell adamantine. The Blood Pikes rob caravans, and their white scars lick the boots of the Technic League. As for us, the Tiger Lords, we are mercenaries, and the best ones in this part of Avestan. Remember this, Baroness. If you keep your throne long enough, we'll meet again, sooner or later, fighting side by side, or otherwise. Who knows?
Tell me about your chieftain.
He's a strong fighter, brave one. He says he's Armagh, an incarnation of a hero from the old times. Just don't ask if I believe it. Armagh is smart. He knows how to do business. If he'd only pay less attention to what those witches whisper, he'd be a perfect chieftain.
Okay, tell me about Numeria.
Eons ago, stars rained down on Numeria. Pieces of metal, both dead and living ones, fell from the sky. Since then, metal monsters roam those lands, and the grounds hold a wealth of adamantine, among other valuable things. Weaklings don't survive there. As for us, Numerian Kelids, we grew up on that land. We drank its poisoned waters and breathed its toxic air. Metals from the depths infused our bones and muscles. No one can beat us. If there were anyone capable of bringing us down, it would be ourselves.
There it is, Numerian humor. For those who find gallows humor too cheerful.
What do you know about Cyclopses?
Not that much. Long ago, these lands were part of their empire. They were a great people back then, used unbelievable magic, and possessed treasures beyond count. Ages passed, and their empire crumbled into dust. Cyclops became wild and forgot all about what they once used to be. But the ruins... Yes, the ruins remember everything.
Indeed, they remember much, if only they were more eager to share.
Okay, I need to look it up because it's really been bugging me. I think I recognize Dugath's voice actor. Dugath Pathfinder Kingmaker voice actor. It is I'm looking for Dugath. He's not on that. They do not have. Oh wait, aha! Full cast and crew. Dugath is this guy who Brian Mislowy, who I have no idea who he is. Okay, well, you know, that tells me some stuff. He was in This Is the Police, This Is the Police 2. Star Trek Armada 2 video game. He was in Return to Castle Wolfenstein as random people. Alright, well, you know, I thought I knew who he was, but I don't. Anyway, thank you for your answers.
You're welcome.
So how can we be useful to each other?
I'm afraid we can't. At least not yet. I'd be happy to take a new job, but our chieftain's orders were strict. Search the location and come back with a report. But if you could help us here, say, by finding whatever these witch sisters are looking for, or maybe just making them disappear forever. Mark my word, Baroness, the Tiger Lords never forget those who help them.
I have to go. Oh, wow. So, that was definitely very cool. I want to loot everything and talk to the Defaced Sisters. Let's do that. Ooh, empty notebooks. Nice, we'll have all of that. Defaced Sisters. There's a raven. Can I click on it? The raven watches you attentively.
What you want?
Yeah, it's still watching us, I see. Face sister.
You, our guest. The Baroness, am I right? I'm sorry you witnessed that unpleasant scene. If I may ask, what is your name?
A slim figure stands eerily still, wrapped in a cloak and hiding her face in her hands. If you hadn't seen her moving before, you could easily mistake her for a statue. However, as you approach, she lowers her hands from her face. The golden green eyes peer at you through the holes in the cloth covering her face. Well, this is a little odd given that in what she says, she calls us the Baroness of Seros, because that's the name of our capital. But anyway, my name's Sora Seros. What's yours? After you give your name, a large raven who'd been sitting on a fence nearby takes wing and flies away, cawing coarsely.
Nice to meet you, Baroness. I have no name. I've rejected it to serve benevolent powers. Not the greatest sacrifice of those we're sometimes called to make. You may call me Defaced Sister.
Who are you?
I am one of those who call themselves the Defaced Sisters. We've rejected our names and our faces in service to benevolent spirits. I'm sorry that I cannot reveal our true destiny to you yet. But believe me when I say our mission is extremely important. Not just for us, not just for the tribe, but for the entire world.
Oh. The puzzle we had earlier, right? We had the, yes. So she said they gave up our faces. This is definitely them, right? But she also said, so she's done that. And we know the raven's the black feathered man, but there was another part of it, which is the person who was born twice. Now, Armag says he is the reincarnation of the previous Armag. That means he was born twice, so once he has been defeated was part of the riddle. So he is definitely that. They have given the black feathered man a road here. Okay, it's all coming together. So Tartusio was not the person who's been born twice, but Armag was. Okay. So, we're still not entirely sure, but it was like thrice the number of people, of faceless people or something like that. I have no idea what it is, but anyway. Very interesting. I'll need to go back to the riddle at some point. But yeah, let me just write that down so I don't forget that. Riddle. Defaced sisters. And then Armag. Okay. Solving the riddle one thing at a time. Right. More. Tell me more, defaced sister.
So honorable. Do these benevolent spirits have names?
Do not burden yourself with idle questions, cleric. Know that all the truths you are seeking for will find you, but only when you are ready for them.
Tell me about Numeria.
These are enigmatic lands. Stars rain from the sky. Soil bleeds fire and gives birth to metal instead of grass. These are lands of mysteries and nightmares. But they're destined to become the salvation of us all, for that is where great Armag lived, died, and rose again, and he will bring redemption for us all.
Tell me about Armag.
He's a man of great destiny. The gods themselves tried to lay him low, but he came back, defied death itself, as was foretold, for that was his fate. He's destined to save many, many lives, but at a terrible cost to himself. I would never wish a fate like that on you, Baroness. I would never wish a fate like that on anyone.
There are many songs about Armag, not all of them Numerian. Some see his story as an inspiration, others as a warning against the dangers of hubris. But I've never heard about any prophecy.
Okay, so what are you looking for here?
It is not yet time to answer this question. We are searching for ancient ruins, the remains of structures built by the previous holders of these strange lands. That is all I can tell you, for now. I understand that you want to know more, but have no doubt, you will in time.
Such wise, enlightened words. People who talk like this are usually trying to swindle you out of your purse.
You speak in riddles.
Don't be wary of riddles. Those wise enough to solve them eventually learn much more than those who always seek straight answers.
Oh, come on. The game's straight up telling us she is part of that riddle from earlier. That was meant to trigger you so you go like, oh, the riddle. Anyway, you have a whole army here. How did you manage to get this far?
Wise ones know many routes that are closed to the uninitiated. Will you be able to detect them? Will you dare to walk along them? Who knows?
Do you know anything about what happened in Varnhold?
Dark things tend to happen in that land. I can only guess to the fate of Varnhold. My 3 sisters know more. Help me find them, and you'll get your answers. If the spirits are kind, it will happen before it's too late.
The riddle also had thrice the number of defaced men, I think it was. Thrice. 3 times. There are 3 sisters, and there's one of her. 3 times the number of defaced people. This is all coming together. Okay. Do you have any idea where your sisters might be?
Do you have a map? I can provide you some direction. One of my sisters went to the sepulchre of forgotten heroes. Another went looking for the Forsaken Mound. And the third was going to visit the ruins of the City of the Hollow Eyes. I won't lie, these places are all very dangerous. But searching for lost truth always involves danger.
The woman marks the locations on your map. Sepulchre of Forgotten Heroes. The Cyclops' entombed here used to perform unbelievable feats in the name of their liege. He decided to immortalize their names and deeds, but nothing is immortal. The glyphs on the crumbling stones have worn away, and now there is no way to learn who is entombed here and what wonders they accomplished in life. Forsaken Mound. The Forsaken Mound is an ancient tomb with a vile reputation. By day, the mound seems grim but peaceful, as any resting ground should. However, according to travellers careless enough to camp nearby for a night, footsteps and moans can be heard from the ruins after darkness falls. And local legends tell of restless souls wandering the halls of the mound, forsaken by their ancient gods. City of Hollow Eyes. The Dunsword region is known for its ancient ruins. Thousands of years ago, the lands were ruled by mighty overlords who left numerous mementos behind. One such memento is the City of Hollow Eyes, a huge burial complex serving as resting place for heroes long gone. The colossal building sits amid the expansive plains of Dunsword. Unfortunately, time has not been kind to this amazing structure. While the main entrance is yet intact, several parts of the building have caved in. What were you and Dugath arguing about?
My sisters. They each went out on their own quests and never returned. Not one of the three. I can understand Jugath. He doesn't trust us. But by refusing to help my sisters and me, he puts himself, his people, countless innocent souls in grave danger. If only I could soften his impertinent heart.
How is this possible? Doesn't this army know any kind of order or discipline? How do they manage to even fight in such chaos?
I'm not going to ask for any compensation. I have to go. Well, you know what, I am. Give me compensation.
With the most valuable treasure of all, truth.
Well, I have to go.
If in your travels you meet my sisters, please help them, and I will help you in return. Remember this word, Gahab. That is what the previous inhabitants of these lands, the Cyclopses, called darkness they so worshipped. If a door shut and lockless bars your path, this word might be your key.
Okay. Cool.
May kind spirits guide you in your travels.
I think we were definitely told about a locked door as well. That's interesting. Oh, there's all sorts of people here. Well, I'm going to end the episode there with our new quest, and let me just check. This is all part of the Varnhold vanishing. There's so much. Fantastic. Well, ending the episode here. Thanks for watching, and next time, explore the rest of the camp and head out. See you then. Goodbye.